Wake Up with Patti Katter.
I love this show.
I never miss an episode. It's the best.
I turn it on and turn it up.
You're listening to and watching Wake Up with Patti Katter. Today, I always say this, but I have a really special guest on the show. I have known Sabo for quite a while now, a hot minute, and I have Sabo on the show with me today. He is a hip hop music artist and an Army veteran. So welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me, Patti. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that only you and Boone Cutler have been on my show twice now. So
yes.
Boom.
Yes.
I only invite certain people back twice or more.
That means our last interview was not that bad then if I got the second invite.
It was good. So everybody who's listening, if you haven't heard the first episode with Sabo, go back and listen to that because we're going to be talking about something a little bit unexpected today. You guys probably would never expect this out of me and maybe out of Sabo because it's a little bit different, right? We've been collaborating on something and I am going to go ahead and let you tell our listeners what we've been up to.
Okay, well, so definitely new to my realm as well. It was actually inspired, I think I told you, but we'll let the listeners know. It was actually inspired from you when you dropped your meditation album project, however you want to label it. I listened to it. It hit home, especially I'm an Army veteran, like you stated, who has issues either falling asleep or staying asleep. So I always try to think outside the box on what methods, holistic methods that can help me do that process. And music has always been a great portion of that. And when you dropped your project, it made it easy for me to kind of coast through and go into my little transitional period that I have like a 2-hour window to settle myself, lay down, go to sleep. It's a process. And I slept pretty damn good that night. And that kind of inspired me the very next morning to say, hey, what are the odds of combining both worlds from your realm as far as speaking, guided meditation to my world, which is more rap, more hip hop. And that's kind of how the idea blossomed. And next thing you know, it grew legs. And I contacted a producer who I've been working with out of Argentina, very talented individual. I brought to him the idea. I had no idea what I was getting into as far as binaural beats and frequencies and things of that nature. He ended up doing his own research, contacted me, even with the different time zones, we were able to make it work. And next thing you know, we have the construct. I shortened the title was The Construct at first, and then we ended up with the Construct, which drops on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it because those of you who personally know me, and I'll just put this out here in case I haven't before, music means a lot to me. It's gotten me through some hard times. It's, most of our listeners, I think, can really appreciate music, but different phases of your life, you listen to different kinds of music. At least I do. Hip hop, I really, really like. I always have. I like the beat. I can feel it in my body. I can feel the vibrations, and I really like that. You listen to music, at least for me, when you're in love or when you have friendships, if you've lost somebody, like all different kinds of reasons that music has been important in my life and it's helped me through different periods. So when you did reach out to me, I was very excited because I was like, wow, this is super cool. Like I've always loved music and I thought it would be cool to do some kind of music album, but I don't really have a history of singing other than in like a choir, and that's totally different than hip hop, right?
Right.
So, yeah. So, it's very amazing how this worked too, because you created some lyrics and sent them over to me, and I needed to fill in some gaps, but everything that you created, I felt like it was natural and it was supposed to be. So that was amazing in itself, I think. How did you come up with some of these lyrics and some of the song titles?
Well, honestly, I think it had to be two major factors. One was the excitement of a challenge of the project and being in a good space mentally. That's pretty much one. And the second was just the production and the beats that were picked out for the project. Each beat that he sent me like around, I want to say a total of 10 beats. And then on the project, we only selected four, and well, four and a half. And just when every beat that he sent me, I was like, oh wow, automatically went into creative writing mode. And it was just a flowetry. It's a weird process. Is once you get into the zone, you're in the zone. It's like an athlete or a professional, professional athlete. When you're in the zone, you're in the zone, and everything comes naturally. And that's kind of the process that happened. I just played the beat over and over and over, and lyrics just started coming to me. And I knew off rip that I wanted to do a positive project, right? And I tend to kind of go back and forth. I do mainly present a lot of positive music, especially to the warfighter community. But it's not always flowers. It's not always, happy times. There's always some dark times, the dark waves that you got to ride. And I tend to kind of cherish in that, embellish in that moment as well. And I do put out some dark music. And but this, I needed to kind of focus and stay within that tunnel vision. I need positive music. I need positive music and uplifting music, should I say. And that's kind of how the process went down.
Mhm. And the lyrics are pretty deep because when I received your lyrics, I was like, wow, how am I going to do this? But then like you said, I just kind of put the music in my ears and I started thinking about what you were saying and decided, well, actually, it was really easy until the last song that you sent me. And I struggled with that one, man, because it is so deep. And it's like I could
Yeah.
go so many different directions with these lyrics. It was messing with my brain in a good way.
Yeah. And the thing is a lot of it, I was just so amazed on how we completed the project in such a short time. Because it normally takes me about 6 months to complete a project. And this was only four songs. And I want to say we did it in what, 2 months, 2.5 months,
Yeah,
just
the
going
whole
back and
complete.
forth.
Yeah.
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 And I was just so amazed on the time that we did it, and the fine things that go into the project as far as the song selection and how the flowetry of which track goes where, and how do you begin it, how you put the middle, how do you end it. And the last song was tough because just the pace of the beat itself, it was different. And I was like, how do I end this project? And the song title is Universe. We ended up with titling the song Universe. And I was like, how would I end this? And I said, you know what? I'm going back to the natural me, which is just straight rapping, right? Just straight rapping. But I wanted to kind of tell a story where the first verse it's a little dark in itself when you're down in the dumps, but as the song progresses, it gets better and it gets better. And then it finishes out with you being uplifted and you seeing the positive and everything. And that's what kind of made the song a little interesting. And when you said, I don't know what to do with the song, I was like, I was there too. You'll get it. You'll get it.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm like, what am I gonna do? And the funny thing is, I knew I would get it because everything else on the album was coming together so fine. And so I knew it was just gonna hit me. And sure enough, literally, probably, I think I can't remember if it was the night before or the morning of I went to record. I literally had like this clear tunnel vision and I knew exactly where to go with it. And I personally love that song the most because I felt like it was the most work as far as like really thinking because I just wanted you'll have to listen because I don't want to give it away, but
Right.
you'll see. I wanted to see if I should stay consistent with some of the other lyrics that I had come up with for the other songs, or if I wanted to make a turn, or how I wanted to do it. So you really made me think. And I know it's going to make a lot of people who listen really think. And that's what we want to do, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's definitely, the goal was to tap into certain emotions that the listener might be suppressing. The listener might not have even an idea that they're having those emotions, because sometimes you're so caught up with the world and everything around you that you don't focus on self. And I learned, it took a while to learn, but I learned that sometimes you just got to take a pause. Just got to take a time out, focus on yourself, and kind of either restructure your goals or your objectives in life and figure out if you're in a good space, what you need to do better. And I'm hoping that this project brings that to light.
I really think it will. And those of you who are listening, if you don't know what delta beats are, it is a frequency of music that actually helps you relax, and it can help you go to sleep and sleep longer, according to so many different science studies. So I think that in itself is cool. When I was recording my end here over in Sarasota, I remember like the first two songs, I was wide awake. And man, by the time I got to that third song, I was like so relaxed that I was afraid I was going to fall asleep when the guy was mixing it.
Yeah. And you know, what's funny is that my producer, PA on the track, he would tell me the exact same thing. He's like, when I start because he constructs the beats from scratch, which is amazing to me. He's like, by the time I'm done finishing the beat, he's like, I'm ready for a nap.
Yeah.
He's like, he had no idea that these frequencies type beats even existed, which makes it more amazing because he got to gain some knowledge on a different side of the house when it comes to music and hip hop. And he's a big hip hop head. And for me to be like, wow, Patti introduced me and I was able to introduce you. So it's like paying it forward in a sense.
Yeah, even the guy over here I was working with for a little bit, he was getting tired. I mean, we were yawning, seriously yawning, but it was such a good feeling too. And honestly, when I get really to a point where I'm having a hard time falling asleep, I'll pop it on right now and listen, and it's great. Um, so what would you tell people out there who are having a hard time sleeping and they're kind of on the edge, like, I don't know if I believe in this stuff?
You know what? My biggest suggestion is stay open-minded, try something new, at least what works for me. I'm constantly trying something new. Because I've been battling this issue since 2007 when I got out to service and during my transitional phase and transitional period back into civilian life, whether it was alcohol or whether it was, trying to smoke weed. I heard that helps, and that didn't really help me, but it helps others, So just trying different things. I'm not a big medication, popping pills type of individual. So I tried to, when it comes to music was always there for me. So the beginning stages was listening to music, going to sleep. But then I'm so involved with the lyrics of songs and different artists. I find myself staying awake, trying to break down what the artist was meaning to his lyrics. I'm like, damn, it's 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm still listening to this album. This is not working. So then I transferred over to nature sounds and meditational music and just relaxation, just take different types of music that helps your mind relax. So I just tell the listeners, just give it a try. It doesn't hurt to try. It's 4 songs. By the time to go, it's a 15-minute interval is what I tell people. It's a 15-minute interval. It's a 15-minute timeout of the brain. Give yourself 15 minutes to relax, wind down. And if you do take a nap, hey, you take a nap. If you do fall asleep, you fall asleep. But if you at least focus on centering yourself for those 15 minutes and channeling your chi, in a sense, then the mission is accomplished.
Right. And throughout a lot of the songs, I do remind people to breathe. I remember I have a really good friend who would always tell me, just take a minute to breathe.
Hmm.
And because there was a point in my life that everything was kind of chaotic. Ken had come home from war. He had a lot of issues to deal with, which meant that I had a lot of issues to deal with.
Right.
And I've had a lot of different traumas in my life as an adult. And so, one of the most important things that we do forget to do is breathe, literally, because I think we've learned to run on adrenaline, right? So, especially you or our war
Hmm.
fighters are running on adrenaline all the time, and we don't take a minute to just actually try to relax. And one of the things that I also encourage listeners to do is before you go to sleep, make sure that you have enough time to get in bed and to actually lay down and focus on relaxation because
Yes.
I know I'm not the only one who does this, right? Like, who gets in bed and you're all playing on your phone? I don't know how many times I've heard people say, like, they're looking at their phone while they're going to sleep and they don't know why they can't sleep, but they have the blue light on their phone. They've
Right.
dropped their phone on their face before. Like, I hear that one.
Yep.
But just take this time and make your room dark. Make sure your room is comfortable. Make sure you don't have a bunch of clutter in your room. Make sure that you're relaxed in bed, that you don't have like dirty laundry in your room or something, because that really will sidetrack your focus. And make sure that your place of sleep is actually inviting, and then turn this music on and just really take time to relax. Turn all the distractions off, turn your
Yep.
TV off, turn the background noise out. Like, just focus on this.
Absolutely. And temperature too. Make sure that the temperature is setting is to your liking. It's not too
Yes.
hot. It's not too cold. Um, and like you said, just wind it down. Like I said, for me personally, it's a process. Like it's a
Mhm.
almost like a 2 hour process. And I've gone through sleep studies. I've sat down with sleep psychologists, and they've helped me figure out my own little tiny little process. And it's a 2 hour window. I have to lay down, like you said. Yes, I'm on my phone doing my last minute email checks, last minute response to inboxes and things like that. And then once it's done, it's done. I put the phone on mute. All my notifications are off. I don't get notified throughout the night on Facebook or Instagram. Everything is shut down. And it's just a matter of just breathing, just winding down, controlling my breathing. And if I have a project like the construct available, then I play that and kind of just let it coast me through.
Mhm. One of the most cool things, I think, I keep saying the word cool, but the album cover, man, that's awesome. I'm gonna pull it up quick and I'll put it on the screen for people who are watching this. But the cover album was really amazing to me because it's crazy, you guys. So we were on the same page on everything through this
Yeah.
whole process.
Yep.
And
Almost scary. Almost scary.
it's legit crazy. So on the cover, and I'm gonna actually put the graphic up so it doesn't have all the weird lighting, but you'll see like the infinity sign. And that, I don't know why, but the infinity sign for the last couple of years has been something that I I love, and I can't describe it, but I feel like for me, it's something that is special to me. So I did not tell Sabo this, but about a week before he showed me this, maybe less than that, I had bought my oldest daughter for her birthday a bracelet and earrings, or a bracelet and a ring with the infinity sign on it. And so he had no idea. I mean,
No.
this isn't something we talked about. So that was cool. Then there's like the three triangles in the artwork. And
Mhm.
I just bought a necklace and it literally has three triangles on it, just like that, which is like the pyramids, right?
Yep.
So that was crazy. You have no idea about this. I didn't even tell you this part. So you have the monkeys, the
Yep.
see no evil, hear no evil.
Yes.
Okay,
See no.
so
Yep.
yeah, so when I was growing up, my parents had a big movie room, and my
Okay.
mom had these three big the statues of the see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil monkeys. So that was crazy. Um, But how did you come up with this? Because we didn't really talk about this.
You know what? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's a higher being. I have no idea. What's funny is that I sketched the cover before even considering doing the song portion of the project, right? I just sat there while at work one day and I was like, you know what? The thought was, okay, I want to do something of similar to what you did, right? As far as that. But as
Mhm.
far as song placement or lyrics, none of that was even in my brain at the time. And I just sat there and I just started kind of sketching. I kind of knew that what I wanted as far as symbols. Symbols are a big thing. And the number 3 represents a lot. For those that don't know, research 3, research 33. And I'll get to that later on when it comes to the dividends of the project, right? Which made it even more amazing. So I just started doing my research. I'm like, what symbols represent 3, things of that nature. And that's kind of how I started constructing or sketching the artwork. And like you said, the pyramids, the 3 monkeys, the see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, the 2 eyes, and then the frontal lobe. And then from there on, it was just like the infinity sign and the earth. I mean, not the earth, the sun, the moon, the water. Water represents what? I forgot the percentage portion of our body, and just different things I wanted added on there. And when I pitched it to my graphic designer who's out in India, he was like, I got you. This is easy. But he wanted to take it to the next level and he wanted to make it 3D. And I was like, okay, oh well, let's run with it. Let's go. And then he actually constructed everything. We fine-tuned it. We added the little comet, we added the little galaxy within the galaxy. And yeah, I'm so amazed on how it came out.
Yeah, it's incredible. And to me, space and just the universe in general means a lot. I've never talked about this on the air, but I'm going to give you guys a little glimpse of something that happened. It's been almost 2 years ago. So Ken went to a hyperbaric treatment for his brain injury. That's my husband, you guys, if you're listening. And some of the people there who were talking at this treatment facility started talking about ketamine treatments,
Right.
and they're overseen by a doctor. So it's not like this, like special K or anything that you get in a club. It's nothing like that. You're monitored and all that stuff. So long story short, about a year and a half ago, I told them that the only way I would let Ken try it is if I tried it first, because I wanted to make sure that it wouldn't trip up his mind too bad, because he's got a lot going on. He's with the brain injury. He also has post-traumatic stress. And mind you, let me just say that he decided not to try it. So I'll just tell you that right now. But when I tried it, it honestly was the trippiest experience I've ever had in my life. That's for sure. Because you're sitting or reclining in a doctor's chair, you have this IV hooked up to you, you get really tired. And then all of a sudden, like, you can't move.
Mm.
And your mind it's just you and your mind, like nothing else, like you're only thinking in your mind. So my experience was I was all of a sudden in outer space, you guys.
What?
And I could, like, literally, I felt like it was a peace and a calm saying, um, basically, all of your problems in life are so tiny. And I was in this outer space universe, just looking down at the world and looking how tiny everything was. And so, if anything, that's what I got from it. And after that, that's kind of why I went ahead and I did this cosmic meditation that I have. And I I decided that, while I don't advocate for that kind of treatment, I can see where it could go wrong in many situations, but it has helped a lot of people, and I haven't been back for it. So
Mm.
just FYI for that. But it was for me a really, really eye-opening experience. And
So would you
yeah.
say you had an out of body experience with the
I,
treatment?
I mean, I don't know if it was an out of body experience, but I'll tell you what, it honest to God felt like I was in outer space. I can't even describe it. I mean, obviously you can't breathe in space, they say, but I was obviously breathing.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I felt like I was in outer space. I mean, even after my experience, and I was talking with the doctor about everything, he said that one of the most common places that people end up going in their mind is in outer space, which I thought was really weird,
Yeah.
because, everybody has these experiences. I did a little bit of research before, but had never read about that.
Mm.
Um, but afterwards, I did do a lot of reading because I was like, this was weird. It was so weird because it really, really felt real. And I
Yeah.
felt really, really at peace about everything. And even now, when I start to think about some problems or issues, I remember like this is really tiny in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. And definitely I never tried it. I've never tried any type of shrooms. I never tried microdosing. But I've heard similar stories of the nature as far as out of body experiences and it just opening up a different perspective on like what you said is the what we see as a big issue is really just a minute in the scheme of things, right? And
Mhm.
it just I've heard that taking those type of trips, mental trips, or at a retreat or whatever the case may be, it just opens up your mind a whole lot more where you're able to access different parts of your right or left hemisphere, which is pretty dope in my opinion. I'm too scared to take that, maybe one day, but I'm too scared right now. I can't even smoke weed, y'all, because my mind is just all over the place. And for me to take that extra step, maybe one day when I feel like I'm ready to cross that boundary, I'll be interested on doing that.
Yeah, yeah, and I can definitely see that because there was one point during that process that I was going through that I remember I started to see something kind of freaky, right? um, and I'll just put this out here too. I don't care. But I could picture myself as this huge statue, and all of a sudden it just started crumbling down. And I was
Ooh.
like, this is like kind of scary because I just remember looking up and like I felt like myself was kind of falling apart there.
Mm.
So I remember the thing is, you can, at least me, I have a really strong mind. So maybe not everybody can do this, but I remember thinking, this is just in my head experience. My body is in this doctor's office. I am safe.
Mm.
My vitals are good. I remember thinking this all through. And it was then that I literally, it was almost like watching a big pyramid just kind of come down, but it was me. Um, and then I was in space after that. Because you can kind of guide yourself where, at least I could, where
Yeah.
if I felt uncomfortable, I could remind myself inside my head, like, this is just in my head. It's not really happening. But at the same time, I do remember feeling when you know, like my body, I remember feeling it felt a little cooler when I was thinking about space. And maybe that's because that in my mind, that's what I was thinking. And
Right.
I remember feeling really light, like I couldn't even feel my body at that point. Okay. So, it was quite different. And this is the first time I've openly talked about it because it's kind of embarrassing to me because I grew up in a family that was like, say no to drugs, all kinds of
Yeah.
drugs. And I don't even like taking an Advil.
Mm.
And so I was kind of embarrassed to say that I tried it. But
Yeah.
the more I think about it and just me and you talking right here, I think it's kind of important because we are talking about alternative
Yeah.
therapies and
Alternative holistic
right.
holistic therapies. And no, I appreciate you being candid about it because to be honest with you, it's a big not that specific treatment, but there is a lot of other treatments similar to that are huge in the warfighter community
Mhm,
and even in the professional fighting community. I know Joe Rogan, he speaks about it all the time
mhm,
on different things that fighters use to kind of help them get to the next level in a sense.
mhm,
And I can't help but sit back and psychoanalyze the story. Like, okay, so she pictured the statue and it crumpled down. Maybe that was the mind's perception of saying, you know, it whatever can be broken down can be rebuilt, and then
Mhm.
you pretty much took off to outer space, and then you saw the world, the earth, everything as a big whole, and realized that you can accomplish anything,
Mhm.
which is awesome.
Right.
I
Yeah. And it really did open my mind enough to let me pursue different things that I normally wouldn't pursue. Honestly, if you had come to me, actually, I wouldn't have even been in this position right now that like us talking about this because I would never have done the meditation that I did was really trippy. It was not a normal meditation. I mean, there were some beats in the background. I sounded kind of like a computerized voice, right?
Mhm.
Um, that was totally stepping out of my element. I probably, if I had done a meditation, it would be really boring with like a harp playing in the background or something. And that just because of the ketamine treatment.
Traditional. You talking
Yeah.
about traditional. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, that wouldn't work for me really. Because I always am thinking out of the box. And honestly, because of the warfighter community, that is the reason that I tried the ketamine treatment. I never would have tried it before. Um, but I did it because literally these guys who we met in Colorado, there's a lot of them were former special forces, and they were talking about how much it helped rewire their brain.
Exactly.
And I
Yep.
can see that.
Yeah. I mean, everything, I don't want to say everything, but certain things, for example, those type of treatments, as long as the environment is pretty much a safe environment,
Yeah.
um, guided, watched over, you never want to put yourself in a situation where even being sober is hostile, right? So going through those motions, and I'm pretty sure you were nervous going
Mhm.
into it,
Yeah.
like you said, you don't even like taking Advil. So imagine going from Advil to that kind of treatment. That's insane. But you did
Yeah.
it, you overcame it. And since we're being honest with each other, growing up, I've been always been a strong-minded individual as well, but I've also had kind of just to say experienced certain things outside of our normal realm in a sense, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's one of the things that kind of makes me hesitant to take those treatments because I don't want to know where my mind's going to go.
Mhm.
If my mind goes there and I'm able to experience these things, some people say supernatural things, some people say opening up another mental box, however you want to describe it. If I'm able to do that sober, I can't imagine I'll be able to move objects with my mind, Patty. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely hear that. And I also would say if anybody's ever had any kind of a drug problem or something, I don't think personally, I mean, I'm not an expert. I don't know
Right.
that that would be the route to go. They say, like the doctor that I did see, I talked extensively with him about trying it before I tried it because you're talking to a girl who, if I had the opportunity to fly the airplane, I want to fly it. I don't want someone else flying it for me. I
Right.
have very big control issues. So I was really, really afraid of trying it and letting go and doing it. And when I was talking to that doctor, he did say that people use it for pain relief also. And some people use it if they're addicted to painkillers, it will actually help them get off of it. So, I mean, there's a lot of cool things that you can learn about this treatment. But for me, I also heard some of the warfighters talking about the mushroom experiences, and I was just like, no way. Like,
Yeah.
I can't, I can't do it. I can't imagine myself going somewhere with people that I don't know. You're not in a clean facility. Sometimes you're in a tent or something in the middle of
Yeah.
nowhere. Like, that's way too scary for me.
Yeah.
So I couldn't try that. So I get where you're saying like there's certain things you just can't do.
Yeah. I
And
mean, I personally have a buddy who's done it in Alaska with the natives.
yeah.
I forgot what he calls it, like almost like sweat lodges
Hmm.
in a sense, where they got rocks burning and they go through this whole native tribal type of meditation, and it's supposed to it's supposed to give you an out of body experience as well, and pretty much test your mind to the max. And I was like, bro, I can't do that, bro. At least not right now. I'm good. I'm good. It's hard to even survive this Florida heat.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was going into it, I did feel like my mind was strong enough. I have a pretty strong willpower. I mean, like if I feel a headache coming on, I can tell myself I'm not going to get that headache. And for some reason I don't.
Nice.
So I think it's strong. But the music, the album that we put out was extra special. That art cover was like, we never really went into super big detail about what my experience was. So that was neat that you pulled that in there. Everything just kind of worked out and it came together.
Yeah, it was almost like it was meant to be. We were at the right place, right time, right uniform, like we say in the military. And to kind of give it a bit of more perspective. Again, it was intentional and purposely done as far as the symbols on the cover, right? And then we have me, you, and then we have PA on the track. 3 of us came together. That's number 3 again. And then when we decided how, because this was my first time splitting as far as royalties and things of that nature. How are we gonna do this? Well, we all decided, oh, hello there. We all decided to break it down evenly. And then when you did the math, it came down to 33.3. All of us each shared the project equally. I was just mind blown because I wasn't intentionally trying to do that. But then after a while, I was like, okay, this is a big deal. I'm gonna start paying attention. Look at this guy.
It was. I know he's so cute. He's gonna steal the show. Yeah. I think that it was incredible. And when you did say the 33.3% too, I was like, wow, this is crazy. Like all of it's just it was the most stress-free project I probably have ever had. Everything just was like boom, 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 working out. So that told me like this is meant to be. Even if it only helps one person, I think it's going to help more than one person. It's already helped me, it's helped you, it's helped your PA on the track. So I mean, it's already helped 3 of us.
Exactly. There's the 3 again. Yeah, exactly. So I can't imagine how many I guess you could say how many souls we're gonna touch with this project. And I'm happy. I should have dropped it on the 23rd just to kind of keep the 3 number going. But I say, you know what, we'll drop it on Christmas Eve and give people something to listen to help them get through the holidays. Just because me and you, Patty, we're in a good mindset, we're in a good headspace, the holidays are pretty tough for a lot of our warfighters, right? So I'm always trying to be conscious of that. And that's why I'm constantly trying to drop a project on Veterans Day, because a lot of our younger war fighters, we kind of went through the whole Battle of Fallujah stand. And then next, obviously now with the whole Afghanistan withdrawal, it's a tough situation and a tough kind of spread. And then you got Thanksgiving and Christmas. So it's one of those things I try to keep conscious of. It's like, okay, music has definitely helped me. I know it has helped others. So at least if we could put out a project within that time frame, and hopefully, it can help them kind of get through it. And next thing you know, we're in the middle of January. All right, let's tackle this next year together.
Yes, I totally agree. And I know a lot of people have a hard time around the holidays. I do have a hard time around the holidays too. It's real quiet at my house now. My kids are all grown. Everybody's moved away, and I have a lot of veterans reaching out around the holidays as well. So definitely, I think that you're right. Well, thank you so much. And again, we can find the music and, I'll be sharing links. You're going to find the music pretty much everywhere, right? On the 24th.
Yeah, it's scheduled to drop on all music platforms. I know we only had like a 2-week window, which it's not normally what I do. I like to give the major platforms about a month to release everything. So I'm hoping that everything goes smooth and it will be out on whatever social media you stream on, whether it's Spotify, Amazon, Pandora, iHeartRadio. What else we got? I said Amazon,
Google.
Google,
Yeah.
Apple Music. It will be out everywhere. So just look it up.
And where can people find you on social media?
Everywhere, unfortunately. Instagram, they can find me on at NSA ENT. Facebook, Sabo, NSA ENT. Or if they just want a one hub, they could just go to the website at www.nsa-entertainment.com.
Excellent. And you guys know you're going to find that in the show notes as well as on the screen if you're watching. So thank you so much for joining us, Sabo. Make sure you guys go to follow Sabo on social media. Make sure you're following me. You're going to get the regular announcement of when this is coming out. If you forget, you don't want to forget, you guys. Also, make sure you tag us. Okay. So go follow, tag Sabo. And again, the links are going to be in the show notes and on the screen. And I appreciate everybody so much for listening. Please remember to take time to breathe. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you so much, Sabo, for giving me the opportunity. And PA on the track, if you're listening, thank you, thank you, thank you.
No, thank you, Patti. So before we close out, what are your thoughts of me reciting maybe a verse off one of the songs?
Yes, do it. Yes.
Do it? All right.
Do it.
All right. So this is the first verse of Universe, which is the last song of the project. And I'll just kind of go through it. I'm not gonna go through it like it was on the project. Here we go. The road is long, the journey is heavy. Walls closing in, breaking levees. We all suffering now, losing many. Anxiety setting in, suffocating daily. Feeling stone cold, emotions buried. Time is ticking now, visions blurry. Isolation overcomes, I'm not ready. Depression, if not treated, can be very deadly. Thoughts of doubts are overbearing. Will it ever stop? Is there a remedy? Am I the enemy? Is there a recipe? Let my soul sink to this melody. So that's kind of the in your face. And I promise you guys, it gets positive after that.
It does. It's amazing. You're awesome.
Thank you. You're awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys. Again, make sure that you follow us on social media. Until next time, I'm Patti Katter, and I have lots of another. I can't talk, you guys. I'm Patti Katter, and we have more episodes on the following Friday. Thank you all for tuning in.
Love y'all. Latest.
Thank you for listening to Wake Up with Patti Katter.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for all you do.
Follow Patti at Patti Katter on Facebook and Instagram.
Get social.
You can now watch Wake Up with Patti Katter on Amazon TV and Roku.
It's the only podcast I listen to.
Be sure to check out Patti's apparel line, The Patriotic Mermaid, at thepatrioticmermaid.com and on social media at The Patriotic Mermaid.
I love it.